In the face of life's challenges, no one can save you. Yes, no one, your friends, your family, your community, they may all try to help you with good intentions, but the truth is that the greatest burden of this journey rests on your shoulders. So why are you waiting? Why are you looking at the hands of others? Isn't it time you became the hero of your own life? Once upon a time, there was a young man who lived in a small town. Every day, as he left for work in the morning, he complained about the obstacles he faced. "I wish I had more luck," he would say. But one day, an old man came to him and asked, "Son, who is your happiness? Who is your life?" The young man did not understand the depth of the question. But from that day on, every morning when he looked in the mirror, he began to ask himself these questions. Who am I? What do I want? How can I change my life? At that moment, a real awakening began. Life is a battlefield. In this battle, your biggest enemy can be yourself, your own fears, anxieties, and insecurities. But remember, you are the one who will win the battle. Ask yourself, what fears are holding me back? What beliefs are holding me back? By asking these questions, you can discover your inner strength. Metaphors are the key to understanding life. If life is an ocean, then you are a ship floating in it. Waves will try to pull you down, storms will toss you around. But you have a compass, willpower, and perseverance. That compass will point you in the right direction. So when are you going to stop fighting the waves? When will you start charting your own course? Remember, the road to success is not paved. You will have to walk in the mud, but the mud will make you stronger. With every step, you will become a little braver. With every fall, you will rise a little higher. You can't help but ask yourself, will I win this battle? The answer is in your hands. Take action to save yourself. In conclusion, don't be discouraged by life's difficulties. It is your determination and courage that will save you. Life is shaped by your choices. Act now. Be the hero of your own story. Remember, no one can save you, but you can overcome anything. Discovering yourself and understanding who you really are in life often requires getting lost. Yes, you heard that right. You may have to get lost in order to find your way. But why is this process of getting lost so important? Because true awakening only comes when you find your way in the dark. The difficult questions you are afraid to ask will lead you to the answers that lie deep within. So be brave and ask yourself this question. Who am I really and what do I really want? Life is often like a maze. There is another option around every corner, another choice at every fork in the road. So which path will you take? Don't be afraid to take the wrong path, for the wrong roads are the most important teachers that will lead you to the right path. Like a lighthouse, you have to get lost in stormy seas to find the light of hope that shines in the darkness. In this challenging journey to find yourself, every step has meaning. Every fall will make you stronger. Each wound tells you a story. Remember, warrior souls draw strength from their wounds. So what are you afraid of? Are your fears holding you back? Or will you discover your true power by overcoming them? In your metaphorical journey through life, everything is in your hands. Like a sculptor, it is up to you to shape your own life. Which stones will you chisel? Which pieces will you assemble? Do you have the courage to create your own masterpiece? Don't be afraid to get lost, for getting lost is the first step to being reborn. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, you can break free and spread your wings. Are you ready to become the hero of your own story? Remember, your story is yours, and how you write it is entirely in your hands. On your journey to find yourself, every day is a new beginning. Each new day is a new opportunity. So, how will you take those opportunities? Are you ready to be the captain of your own life? You are at the helm, and it is up to you to set the course. Finally, ask yourself this question. What do I want to accomplish in this life? Have the courage to find your answers and listen to your inner voice. For true power lies in the stillness within. Discover the power within and take control of your life. Your story is taking shape in your hands. Take action now and start writing your own epic. Are you drowning in the noise of life? Do you feel lost every day in the sounds of the outside world? But can you hear yourself in those moments of silence? It's time to come back to yourself. Silence is a chance to hear your inner voice. But you must be brave to take this opportunity. Imagine, once upon a time, a mountaineer set out to reach the top of a mountain. He got lost in the high mountains, in the howling of the wind and the crunching of the rocks. But for a moment, he stopped everything. He took a deep breath and tried to hear his inner voice in the depths of silence. For that moment, he was free not only from outside noise, but also from his inner conflicts. Would you dare to create such a moment of stillness? Metaphorically speaking, life is an orchestra. Each instrument represents a different tone, but you are the conductor of the orchestra. Outside voices can sometimes drown out your melody. You can't help but ask yourself, what is my true melody? What notes are resonating within me? Answering these questions brings you closer to your true self. In silence, you can find your inner harmony. To hear yourself, you must first stop. Lost in the chaos of life, you must stop and rest. To give an example, the surface of a lake ripples on windy days. But when the wind dies down, the landscape reflected on the surface of the water becomes clear. You too need to stop and find your inner peace. In silence, you can see your true thoughts and feelings. So what are you going to do to create that silence? Remember that finding yourself in silence is a journey. On this journey, you may have to confront dark thoughts, but this confrontation will make you stronger. Ask yourself, am I afraid to face myself? What do I need to do to win the battle within? These questions will lead you to a true awakening. Finally, it takes courage to listen to yourself in silence. Turning off the noise of the outside world and listening to your inner voice is a step that will set you free. Take action now. Step into the silence and find your inner voice. Remember, when you can hear yourself in silence, you have discovered the true melody of life. Return to yourself and embark on this journey with courage. Stop underestimating yourself. Are you aware of the immense power you carry within, or do you close your eyes and comfort yourself by saying, "This is who I am"? Every time you say, "I can't," another part of you dies. Every time you think, "I can't do this," you break your wings. So, until when? How long will you let the giant inside you sleep? Think about it. What would happen if a lion cub thought he was a cat? He would never learn to roar like a lion, and neither will you. It's time to awaken your inner lion. No matter what your life labels you with, it is not who you really are. The child labeled slow at school may actually be a deep-thinking philosopher. The girl labeled a dreamer may actually be a future genius. What people say about you does not define you. Stop underestimating yourself. Could it be that the potential within you is so great that you are afraid to see it? Growing up takes courage. To make yourself smaller than you are is cowardice. Who do you want to be? Even the phone you hold in your hand was once impossible. Airplanes and crossing oceans were once considered madness. What about you? Do your limits really exist, or have you made them up? Every time you say, "I can't," you create a new limit for yourself. But the truth is, what you can do is far beyond what you can imagine. As long as you believe, as long as you don't stop trying. Underestimating your inner strength is like mistaking a diamond for glass. You can't even imagine what that diamond will become when you polish it. Remember this, great achievements come with great faith. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? All you have to do to unleash the amazing power within you is to make a decision. Enough is enough. I will stop thinking small. The moment you make that decision, everything will begin to change, for the real power is already within you. It is up to you to unleash it. Now I ask you, are you ready to awaken the giant within, or will you continue to sleep and stay small? The choice is yours. But know that one day that giant will surely awaken. The question is, will it be by your own will or by the blow of life? Wake up. For the world needs someone like you. The truth is waiting for you. Go and find it. Knowing yourself is like ripping off a fresh Band-Aid. It hurts, but it is the only way to heal. Are you going to sit in your comfortable chair right now and keep fooling yourself by saying, "This is who I am"? Or are you ready to bravely look in the mirror and see the real you? Remember, living with lies is comfortable, but freedom is for those who risk the pain. If a butterfly does not fight to get out of its cocoon, its wings will never get stronger. So are you. It is easy to lock yourself in a little box by saying, "This is who I am." But what about your potential? Do you know that you are too big to fit into that box? How many times have you said, "This is my character," when in fact you were just trying to excuse your fears? Once upon a time, there was a man who lived in a dark cave. He didn't know the world outside because the cave protected him. One day, someone took him out and his eyes burned and he suffered. But then he saw the sun, the trees, the endless sky. Now I ask you, are you still in the cave? Are you afraid of pain and prefer to be condemned to darkness? Knowing yourself is like peeling an onion layer by layer and bursting into tears. With each layer, you become a little more naked. You see who you are, what you are afraid of, what lies you live by. Yes, this process can hurt, but remember, the innermost essence of an onion is the purest version of you, and so are you. What are you putting off in your life right now? What truth are you afraid to face? Perhaps, "I'm not good enough," but you're not really trying. You say, "I'm happy the way I am," but at night you feel something is missing. You say, "I can't change," but you haven't even tried. Even if an eagle is raised among chickens, one day it sees the sky and instinctively takes off. You will have such a moment. Either you will face yourself today and be liberated, or you will regretfully say, "If only," years later. Now is the time to choose. Will you rip off the Band-Aid and risk the pain, or will you continue to live with the lies? Remember, knowing yourself hurts, but not knowing yourself is a lifelong nightmare. The truth awaits you. Do you have the courage? Are you still seeking the approval of others? Then know this: you are begging, "Love me, accept me," as if you were begging for water in the palm of another's hand. And when will this hunger end? Never, for it is a bottomless pit. Every time they say, "Well done," you feel full for a moment, and then the hunger starts again. It is a vicious circle. And how long will you be a slave to it? Think of a shadow. It follows its master wherever he goes, never making its own way. Are you like that? What have you lost by living as the shadow of your mother, your father, your boss, strangers on social media? Your own color, voice, attitude. You have forgotten the real you, always shaped by the likes of others. A plant needs the sun to grow, but it never asks the sun, "Do you like me?" It just grows. And you? How many times have you checked the number of likes on a post? How many times have you put off your dreams thinking, "I wonder what they will say"? It slowly eats you from the inside like a cancer cell. Do you realize that? Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who always wore a disguise to win everyone's love. One day he looked in the mirror and couldn't recognize his own face. This was because he had been pretending so much that he had forgotten who he really was. Now I ask you, Do you also look in the mirror and see a strange face? This is the bitter truth. Your search for approval is bleeding from a wound that was not closed as a child. Perhaps your parents imprinted the message, "You are not good enough," into your subconscious. Every time they say, "You're great," you feel a momentary happiness because you never think you're good enough. Every like you get on social media takes you a step further away from yourself because you are no longer you. You are a puppet that others want. An eagle can never reach the heights if it cannot afford to leave the flock and fly alone. And that's what you are. As long as you make yourself small so that they will like me, your wings are doomed to be forgotten. But true freedom is being able to say, I don't need anyone's approval anymore. Now is the time to choose. Either you break this poisonous illusion today and determine your own worth, or you shrivel up all your life waiting for someone to say, well done. Remember, you can dig your own well instead of filling someone else's palm with water. The real question is, how long will you continue to starve yourself? The moment you say, who I am, is the first real day of your life. Up until that moment, you were just walking around like a ghost. You wore the costumes others wanted to see you in. You played the scenarios they wrote. But what about you? Where is the real you? Stop for a moment and think, how many times have you said, this is who I am, when in fact you were just wearing a mask to hide your fears? Think of a tree. The deeper its roots go, the higher it reaches. Where are your roots? In the sand of other people's expectations, or in the hard rock of your own values? Saying, I am, begins with digging for those roots. It will hurt, you will sweat, but in the end you will really stand. Once upon a time, there was a clown whom everyone applauded. When he took off his makeup at night, he didn't know who he was in the mirror. For years, he had forgotten who he was to make people laugh. Then one day he said, enough is enough, and took off his colorful wig. For the first time, she breathed with her own face. My question is, when will you throw away your wig? Here are some startling facts. Every moment you say, I am like this, is actually an escape, because you are afraid to change. Labels like I am lazy, I am afraid, etc., are giving you the keys to the cell that imprisons you. A river does not stay where it says, this is who I am. It either flows or dries up. And so it is with you. Either you grow or you shrink. The greatest lie is the one you tell yourself. Every moment you limit yourself by saying, this is who I am, you are throwing away your potential. When a sculptor carves marble, he doesn't shape it. He just removes the excess. You are like that. The moment you say, this is who I am, you break through the false layers and reveal your essence. Maybe it will hurt, maybe it will be difficult, but for the first time, you will really live. Now, a question for you. How many different yous have there been up until today? The you at work, the you next to your family, the you in your lover's eyes. Which one is real, or are they all an act? When you say, this is who I am, do you feel a thrill or a void? If there is a void, you haven't found the truth yet. Even if an eagle lives among poultry, one day when it looks at the sky, its instinct awakens. You are that eagle. The moment you say, this is who I am, it is time to spread your wings and conquer your own sky. The moment you stop pretending, life begins. Accepting yourself is not surrender, it is liberation. When you say, I am, no one has the power to change you. Now is the time to choose. Look in the mirror and ask boldly, is this really who I am? If the answer is not yes, then now is the time to start. For the moment you say, this is who I am, you will really start to live. Learning to be self-sufficient is not a luxury. It's a survival necessity. How many times have you waited for someone to say, okay, I'll take care of it? How many times have you asked others for their opinion instead of making your own decisions? And most importantly, when will you realize your own power? Think of a tree. The deeper its roots go, the more resistant it is to storms. Where do your roots go? To the words of others or to your own instincts? Remember, anything with weak roots will fall at the first gust of wind. Once upon a time, there was a man who expected everything from others. His mother cooked his food, his father paid his bills, his friends made his decisions. One day, when they all left him, he was left hungry and helpless because he had never learned to do anything for himself. My question is, are you waiting for the same fate? Every person you depend on is a thief stealing your potential. Every moment you think you can't do without them, you are denying your own power. A baby can never walk if it refuses to leave its mother's lap. Neither can you. If you don't leave safe harbors, life will always treat you as little. A person who does not earn his own money can never be truly free. For anything bought with money from someone else's pocket is a chain. A baby eagle cannot learn to fly without jumping out of the nest. It will fall, it will stumble, but in the end, it will conquer the sky. And so will you. Unless you face your fears, you will never know your true power. How many times have you said, I can't do it? And how many times have you let someone else do it when you could have done it? If someone had left you, could you survive today, or would you feel helpless? A ship can never explore the oceans if it is tied to the harbor. You cannot reach your true potential until you get rid of the people you depend on. Now is the time to act. Start with small steps. Today, do one thing for yourself that you always ask for help with. Face your fears. Don't think, what if I fail? Failure is part of the learning process. Trust yourself. Remember that impossible is just a word until you do it. Remember, self-reliance is not a choice. It is a necessity. Anything you depend on makes you weak. True freedom is being able to say, I can do it myself. When are you going to take action? Or will you wait your whole life for someone to save you? It's time to discover your own strength. Because if you don't learn to stand on your own 2 feet, you will always be dangling on someone else's lap. It's easy to say you love yourself, but do you mean what you say? Every time you say, I love myself, you're actually deceiving yourself, because true loyalty lies not in words, but in deeds. Being true to yourself is your greatest test. Think of a tree. The deeper its roots go, the stronger it stands. But what about you? You are shaken as soon as the wind blows. You say, this is who I am, but you change at the first opportunity. What kind of disloyalty is that? Once there was an actor who was loved by everyone. He played every role perfectly on stage, but he didn't even know who he was when he went home, because he had forgotten who he really was. One day he froze on stage. He didn't even know what role he was playing. Are you like that? Face the truths. Saying, I love myself is not a sign of self-confidence. If you say you love yourself, why do you need other people's approval? Being true to yourself is the greatest act of courage, because it means saying to the world, this is who I am. If you don't like it, go away. Loving yourself starts with accepting your flaws. If you can't accept that you're not perfect, it means you don't love yourself. How many times have you said, this is who I am, and then bowed to the wishes of others? You say you love yourself, but do you really know yourself? A river cannot reach the sea by changing its bed. It will either flow as it is, or it will dry up and disappear. It's the same with you. If you don't stay true to yourself, you'll eventually lose your true self. It is time to take action. Say no to something today. If you say you love yourself, then stop giving in to the desires of others. Make a deal with yourself. Stop engaging in behaviors that diminish you. Discover your true self. How can you love yourself if you don't know who you are? It's easy to say you love yourself, but the real issue is being true to yourself. If you don't take action today, you may find yourself looking at an unfamiliar face in the mirror tomorrow. Now is the time to choose. Are you going to betray yourself, or are you going to stand by your true self? Imagine a puppet. Its strings pulled by others, its every move controlled by an external force. What about you? In whose hands have you left the strings of your own life? You say, I am free, but your decisions are determined by your social media likes, your family's expectations, your boss's whims. What kind of freedom is that? Once upon a time, there was a perfect man, admired by all. He went to the school his family wanted, did the job society approved of, drove the car the neighbors liked. Until one night, he looked in the mirror and saw a face he didn't recognize. Because until that day, he had never been himself. Do you recognize the face you see in the mirror every morning, or is it the way someone wants to see you? Shocking. Truth. You will never find true happiness by letting others decide who you are. How long do you want to be an extra in someone else's script? Playing the roles imposed by society is an illusion of security. Is living like a sheep in lion's clothing really living? Self-discovery is not a luxury, but an existential necessity. A ship without a rudder is lost in the ocean. Where is your rudder? A bird cannot fly without breaking out of its cocoon. You cannot reach your true potential without suffering. Are you ready to break your own shell, or will you live your life within the boundaries that someone else has drawn for you? I challenge you. How many times have you said, I want to be like this, and then backed out because, but what would my parents say? Are those perfect photos you post on social media the real you or the version of you someone wants to see? A river cannot reach the sea by flowing into the bed of another river. Either you find your own way or you get lost in someone else's sewage. Start your revolution. Say, this is my choice about something today. Make a decision, even a small one, of your own free will. Cut off all outside influences for an hour. Turn off the phone. Listen to your inner voice without asking anyone else's opinion. Write yourself a manifesto. I want to be, in your own words. The last word, choosing to be yourself, is a challenge to the world. If you are not ready for that challenge today, tomorrow you will find someone forcing you into a role you have never known. Now is the time to choose. Are you going to be the director of your own life, or are you going to be an extra in someone else's script? Remember, if you don't want to die in your cocoon, you must break your wings.